Okay, we should be live again now.
We're back.
Like I say, I'm gonna check our sound because that's the smart thing to do. But then I'll start putting everything else up. But I don't know what happened. We just lost.
Everything just stopped.
Yeah, we lost video to begin with. There's part 2. Yeah, we lost.
There we go. Okay.
So let me get this up real quick. So basically what happened is we lost video, and all of a sudden we had no sound.
Yeah.
And I think it's a connection issue. I think I've got some issues with a computer that may be getting old. Well,
time for a new one.
It is old. So we kind of mentioned it on the air, maybe that we're restarting. So basically, if this happens, you'll want to go back to the main page and see if there's a new show up, because I'll get it up pretty quickly.
That's true. We're having fun, so if you join us, that's great.
Yeah. If not, it's Roundtable and Roundtable Part 2.
Yeah.
So and I know there's a bunch of people that watch after the fact as well.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. Yeah. We need to, and Randy was getting ready to do a song, so we need to get back on air for that, because this is a cool song. Got to hear it.
So
I haven't heard it yet, so I want to hear it.
You haven't heard it?
I haven't heard it yet.
I never know what I play for who anymore.
No.
Yeah, I'm a musical slut.
That's one way to put it.
I'll play for anybody.
Yes, my wife, she'll tell you, you can take out the music part for me.
I didn't say anything. There's some things that I'll just kind of, I'll keep it to myself.
The running joke for me was that, when I'd spell my last name, I'd say Ramire, and my wife would always go, emphasis on easy.
Okay. I got everything back up, so people now know.
Okay.
That we are back on the air.
We're back.
It's almost like we still exist.
Yeah. All right.
So let's see. Let me move this back over here. So this was a couple of people I was watching at a Starbucks, an older couple, and I was watching. He was holding her hand. He was so focused on everything that she was saying. The look on his face was one of somebody first love sort of look, and it just got into my head. I wonder how that would feel.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started writing the song, and it's a mix of two things. There's some stuff from my marriage when things were still good, and then so there's some specifics that have to do with me, and I'm not going to tell you which ones those are. There's some other stuff that's obviously not me, and it's me basically just imagining, kind of a what if sort of thing. But at the same time, I basically created a narrative around these two people that may not have anything to do with reality. Who knows? For all I know, just they just met a few months ago, and this is a brand new relationship. Who can tell these days? But this is how does it feel? How does it feel when you're hanging with your friends? And I'm going to cut the sound a little bit. I'm a little loud. How does it feel when you're hanging with your friends and you hear someone walk in, and then you see the girl who takes your breath away? How does it feel when all you want is to be near her, but your feelings are unclear, and you work so hard just to be your friend? Life is like a freight train running too damn fast. All of these moments never seem to last. Like acting like a fool just to make you laugh. Sweetest than you'll ever hear on earth. How does it feel when you know this is love and you can't get enough of holding hands and her kisses? How does it feel when she tells you she loves you and there's no one but you, and you're swept up in that moment like a tidal wave? Life is like a freight train running too damn fast. All of these moments never seem to last. Like dancing in the kitchen to your favorite song, holding her so close until the dawn. How does it feel when you have that first big fight and you're both sure that you're right? It's fierce and vicious and you both draw blood. How does it feel when you're scared it might be over and you've never felt older and you can't even imagine your life without her? Life is like a freight train running too damn fast. All of these moments never seem to last. Like staring at the ceiling 'cause you just can't sleep, terrified you've lost her and you wanna weep. How does it feel when she comes back around and you finally talk it out and she looks at you with love in her eyes? How does it feel when you fumble with the ring that for months you've been carrying and she kisses your lips and tells you yes? Life is like a freight train running too damn fast. All of these moments never seem to last. Like standing at the altar and she's about to cry, so you cross your eyes and make her laugh and her makeup stays dry. How does it feel when the hard times come along and you stand together strong, and the good times come and you share your joy together? How does it feel when you're holding her hand and this ain't what you planned? She's laying there and her bright light starts to fade. Life is like a freight train running too damn fast. All of these moments never seem to last. Like putting on a brave face while inside you scream at God, 'cause she's supposed to live when death gives you the nod. How does it feel when you know it's time to go and your eyes finally close, and then you see the girl who takes your breath away?
Nice. Very nice. That's a good one.
And thank God I've got the best guitar. It just rings for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started writing this thing and I realized, man, this is just like your song Maggie that you did,
Yeah.
the Colin Hay song. The chorus is not completely different every time. It's half of the course is completely different every time.
Yeah. That's your fault. You wrote it.
I know.
I have an excuse.
Hey, it's not my fault. I didn't have any say at a certain point.
That's cool. That is really cool when that song just does that. It's like you feel like that's just what's coming through.
Oh yeah.
So that's really cool.
Yeah. And it's weird when you start getting to that point. And for me, it is the music will actually take on a life of its own. A lot of it, I've got no say at a certain point. There's a song that I've been messing with. Is this where it was? Yeah. Right now it's called Stay Over. And it's a very different song than what I've written so far.
Already sounds like it.
Yeah, Truman Provincial was new in this. How does it feel? That stuff says you can tell he's kind of working through stuff. And then different feel, a lighter feel. It's like, yeah, it kind of does. Well, this one is kind of a, hey, you gotta stay over and,
Oh, that's cool. That is very different from the stuff that you do.
Yeah, it started out that it was come over, and then I realized, oh no, wait, she's already there.
Yeah.
And it's a song that told me that as I was writing it. So, you never can tell.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little bit before I play it, even after I finish it, because instrumentally it's a little rapid fire and difficult.
Yeah.
So we will see. Yeah, I've got that one and another one that I'm working on that it's more of the brokenhearted sort of stuff, but it's got some chords that I've always wanted to use, and so it's got a real pretty sound to it already. So
very cool.
I love the G chord with the C add 9. I think the back and forth with that is just one of the prettiest things you could possibly do.
Yeah, I do a song that has that it's just that chord adds a lot. It's really cool because you saw that I used that a lot in that first one I did.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a neat little chord. It's not that hard. It's basically 2 fingers changed from a G.
Yeah, string down. It's cool when you have songs that do that.
Yeah. And it's an interesting one. To obsessed, was at one point obsessed. All of her songs had the C add 9. So I was messing with it. I was like, oh, I kind of like that. And then as you get into it and find out what it is, it's like, wow, no wonder it sounds good with this and this and this. So and Tennille Townes is just the absolute coolest. Yeah, I don't have a crush on her. She's a little too young for me to feel comfortable with that. But she's awesome. Some of the best music that I've heard in a long time coming from her. She puts her heart into it, into everything she does, and you can tell that's her. Pay attention when you're following an artist, a singer. If they write their own music, chances are you know them better than you might think you do. Because there's some people that they do Florida Georgia Line, you're not going to get to know from their music. You're gonna know that they like to party and drink, and they like girls in tight cutoff jeans. Dan and Shay, that. Never mind. There's people who like them. One of them that I know is tuned in, and can't stand those guys. I try. I really do try.
Yeah.
Some things are just beyond me. I'm only human, and if you suck, I'm gonna say it. I'll eat some crap for that.
I've learned to get better about that because when I was in high school and I was trained the way I was by my choir director, I learned to find things and pick things up, and I hear things that a lot of others may not. And so I learned to keep my mouth shut, though. It's like sometimes I'll hear something, I just won't say anything.
Yeah.
If I say I like the way it sounds, then I mean it. Because I learned not to say that was a good song. And
yeah, you got to be careful with that these days, and a lot of people are overly careful with that. I can't tell you how many people have offered me a critique on something that I've done, either the words, the way I sing, the way that I play, and they do it with this real apologetic tone, like they're approaching me like you'd approach a sleeping tiger. I don't bite unless you buy me dinner, and then you've earned it. Otherwise, no, I think we need to be a little more open with that.
Yeah.
I like the criticism. I like people telling me, Truman, actually a couple of weeks ago. We were talking, and I didn't, I understand. I'm still a beginner.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm intermediate. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe.
I even say I'm barely intermediate.
But yeah, he was watching me play
Yeah.
and doing this. Which, especially with you do some stuff where you're really hitting them.
Yeah.
But he says, I don't want to mess with you or anything, but you might want to try this. Well, I'm still moving my arm, but I'm doing more of the wrist thing. And I've got a lot more control. I can control how loud I'm playing. I can also control which strings I hit a little bit better.
Yeah. It's funny because
and if he hadn't said anything, I would have never known that.
It's I do that a lot though. But then there's some songs I can't do that on, like So it depends on the song I play. Yeah, it depends on the song I play. I have no idea what strumming pattern I'm gonna do until I start. Sometime, like when I started doing. I do a different strum pattern every time.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
it's like you never know what it's a feel thing for me. And like I said, I'm not a guitar player. I'm just a singer that also plays guitar. So it's right. When I play, it needs to fit the way I'm singing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that's the way I do. But I noticed that if you're using the same strum, I used to play in a group with a group of people that the guitar. There were two people that played guitar, and they used the same strum pattern on every song.
Yeah.
And when you're trying to, it was very difficult to try and. Yeah.
Well, it's real easy to fall into that trap, especially early on.
This is the way they did it, and then I'm like, let's change it up. They couldn't do it. I was like, all right.
Well, thank God they're not drummers.
Oh, I know.
They'd be in all sorts of trouble. But it's just traps you can fall into. But the thing is, if people are talking to you and telling you, hey, I noticed this, and I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong, but you might want to try this. Try it. You never know. I feel a lot better with what I'm playing. I actually was sitting down a couple weeks at open mic with Danny Ruiz, the lead guitarist for They Were Freeway Jam. I forget what their new name is.
Oh yeah.
I want to call them Mystic Spiral because they're like, yeah, we had to change our name. I went into a bit of a Daria moment with that. Yeah. Hi, we're Mystic Spiral, but we're thinking about changing the name. But we were sitting there talking, and he was telling me, he says, I'm liking what you're doing, and he started talking about, and you're mainly strumming, but you add in just that little bit of finger picking, and it changes things up, and I'm just like, what is he talking about? I don't finger pick at all. And then I realized what I'm doing. I'm screwing around occasionally where I'm not hitting all the strings. I'm hitting different parts of the strings. I'm not finger picking, but apparently to a pretty developed ear, I kind of got him fooled. And I was like,
that's good.
I was like, I'm not going to tell him. I'm just going to let him be impressed because, why not?
I don't get too intricate with mine because my main thing is my vocal.
Yeah.
That's what my guitar playing is just so that I don't sound stupid up there singing a cappella.
Yeah.
That's all I do. I do enough to not sound, plain. So that's what I try to do.
There'll be a point I'll probably put together some demos for all of these where I put some more instrumentation. In which case I'll be playing some, but I'll probably be asking some people to help because some of it is like, I could probably lay down a basic guitar riff. Yeah. I don't know that it would be very good. So why not just get somebody who knows what they're doing?
Exactly.
And I have had some people that have actually talked about wanting to play with me. It's cool. Surprising. We have a bass player named Ron. That wasn't Ron. It was the other guy.
Oh yeah.
It was the one that comes out with the band.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. Yeah,
Yeah,
I finished
that
playing
guy.
one week. The band had come out. They were going to set up and play. It's
Yeah.
yeah, they're kind of a classic rock type band, and I hate that I can never remember their name. I write it down and then I lose the paper. But yeah, he came up afterwards, and the band hadn't been there yet, and he says, "Hey, anytime you want a bass player to play with you, I'm willing to play." And I was like, "Dude, I'll take you up on that because that's awesome." I get a little worried, a little scared about playing with people, but it has nothing to do with me. I'm too good for that.
Yeah.
It's the case that I'm scared of screwing it up and looking like an embarrassment in front of somebody that I think the world of, because I respect the hell out of our musicians out here. And yeah, it was scary the first time I got up and played with a band, because I didn't want to embarrass myself in front of these guys and have them look at me like, "What are you even doing up here?" And that doesn't happen. But in my head,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah. I had a couple guys approach me and say, "Hey, if you want a rhythm section," I'm like, "I am not on your level.
Yeah.
You guys are way past and I am not even close, and I do not want to waste your time."
Oh, I think we've all had that little fantasy
Yeah.
of having a band.
Oh yeah.
And I actually do have some dream members, and one of them is a lead guitarist. I would love to have be a part of that. And she has only played publicly in front of people once and hasn't done it since.
Oh wow.
But yeah, she's another one of Damian Luna's students.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And yeah, as far as doing her finger picking, she's amazingly good, and I don't think she realizes how talented she is.
Yeah.
She's very skilled as well. She works hard, but she's got that ear, and she's got that ability to pick this stuff up so fast. And she's just like, what? It's not that hard. Yeah, hon, it really is.
Yeah, I tried it.
She came in one time and says, yeah, a little less than a week. I had the new song down. I was like, well, what is it? Blackbird by the Beatles.
Wow.
Says, it wasn't that hard. I was like, yes, it is. and yeah, she was doing the lead guitar part.
Takes to it really well.
That's not easy. I know a handful of artists who pull it off, and it's a hard song. It's very, very intricate. And she's just like, yeah, it wasn't that hard.
Yeah, we had a guy that used to come to Amar all the time, Captain Kirk.
Uh-huh.
Oh, he was something. He could play. His finger picking style was just so.
Mhm.
It was so awesome. So, and then I thought they were calling him Captain Kirk as a joke, and it's not. His name is Jim Kirk, and he was a pilot in the Army. He is actually a captain. So yes, it is Captain Kirk.
Do you know how happy I would have been to know that guy?
Yes, I mean he was such a nice. He ended up moving to Austin, and he is doing some playing up there, which is great.
So he's probably still not a nice guy. Unless,
he is a great guy.
It might be past tense because he did move to Austin.
Yeah,
he might have been infected by that attitude up there. But
man, I'll tell you, there were times I go to open mic, and after it was over, he'd tell him, "Don't put that away. Come here," and we'd sit and jam for a little. Just kind of noodle around for a little while. I'd start playing one of my songs, and he would just start finger picking along with it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is cool. So it was that was really good. I just thought it was funny when I found out his name really was Captain Jim Kirk.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know how to break this to you guys, but I'm kind of a nerd.
That is a far-gone conclusion.
I've been a member of Starfleet International. It's a Star Trek fan club. And it was actually started by the people who did the original letter writing campaign to have Star Trek put back on the air when it got canceled the first time. So this is a pedigreed group. They've been around for a very long time, and it is truly international. One of the programs that they would do, because they did a bunch of different community help type programs. And one of the programs they did was a program where you would send care packages and letters to service people overseas. And it was kind of cool. The first time that we did it, and it was when we could still send stuff. After 9/11, you could send letters. You couldn't send stuff for a good amount of time, which was harsh. We little plastic things and little toys and stuff that we could put in the envelope that we get by. But I think it was the first time that we did it, and we got a regular guy writing back. He was a Star Trek fan. The letter actually went originally to his bunk. The way this guy was stationed on an aircraft carrier.
The Enterprise.
The Enterprise.
I knew it.
So that was a cool thing.
That is cool.
Yeah, he would find out when we were having our meetings, and a lot of times he would make sure he had some phone time. He would call us to be a part of the meeting. We basically were his family while he was away. We kept this contact going. He had a wife, and she was pregnant when he deployed. By the time he got back, kid was born, and I believe was a little over a year old.
Wow.
Hadn't seen her yet. And he says, yeah, we're going to be pulling into the harbor here in California in about a day, and then I'm going to get to see my little girl for the first time.
Wow.
Great. And we were like, okay. We didn't hear anything from him after that. It's like, yep, he's done. Yeah, we did what we needed to do. It was cool, and he's now with his family.
That's cool.
And about a month later, we got a phone call, and it was him, just saying, "Hey, just wanted to check in." Says, "Yes, I've been immersed in my family."
Yeah.
Says, and it's the greatest thing ever. She is adorable. She is. It's just
That's awesome.
Of course, the smartest kid ever.
Yeah.
Because every dad.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it was a neat thing, and it was weird that it was something so nerdy.
Yeah.
That connected us like that.
That's cool.
And it's why I don't roll my eyes too much when I see these different groups. And I always check them, like this group that's going to be out there at Bassett Center celebrating their 60th.
Wow.
Take a look at these groups, see what they're doing. Chances are they're helping out their community in some way.
Yeah.
And that's always a good thing. So yeah. I don't know what we were talking about because we got a little bit off topic.
That's okay.
Oh, Captain Kirk.
Yeah,
Captain
Kirk.
You started that one. That's
Yeah.
your fault. So
I just thought it was so cool.
Yeah, get me started on Star Trek stuff. And yeah, I've been talking with Garner, another musician here in town. He's a hardcore Trek fan.
Yeah.
And they got the new Picard show started. They're about to start Strange New Worlds, which is going to be the adventures of Captain Pike, the captain before Kirk.
My gosh.
Including the actor that they've cast as Spock in the TV stuff, and he's so good. So yeah, there's a lot of that stuff, and so this stuff comes up, and Wilson a message one of the others said, "Hey, did you see this has just started?" And I caught him off guard with Picard because he didn't know it had started before I did. So fandom is an interesting thing, and everybody of us is a nerd in one way or another. If you're not a nerd in any other way, come out to one of these open mics or one of these things where people are playing at a winery, restaurant, brewery, whatever. And this could be your nerdy side. Yeah, you're nerdy. Yeah, that doesn't sound right.
Well, I mean, yeah, my nerd side is kind of, I don't know. I was a IT tech for most of my adult life, so that definitely qualifies. But yeah, when we did, I kind of always, I'll be here for the Trevor show so I can keep the reins back on the nerd level. And then we did May the 4th, and I was all in that.
Oh yeah, you were over the top.
Yeah,
so yeah,
I was all in that.
You were having trouble focusing during that show, and that was kind of my fault.
Yeah, Return of the Jedi playing on this TV up there, and I'm playing a song. Going, oh, this is one of my favorite parts. I'm still playing.
Yeah, I was like, why not?
Yeah, it was fun.
I just turned the sound all the way down, so we had visuals for ourselves.
Memories that came up of all the, when Star Wars came out. My dad took us to the drive-in. We backed up his pickup, and we had, our little lounge chairs and my dad's beanbag chair in the back of the truck. When Empire Strikes Back came out, I went with my friends to the walk-in theater. We used to call it the walk-in theater because we had a drive-in theater.
Yeah.
And Return of the Jedi was another. I was just like, I remember those.
Yeah. I went with my folks to see Star Wars.
Yeah.
No lines. Nobody cared.
I know.
Nobody knew what it was.
Yeah.
Walked in, watched this movie, and I came out going, what did I just see? Oh my God. This has never existed before.
And I remember it because it was like everybody else had seen it before we did. I don't remember a movie where I was like, I have to see it the first weekend out,
Well,
Uh,
it was weird because this is a totally different time period.
mhm.
Um, I don't know how they got a hold of it, but my elementary school, remember the reel to reel projector
Yeah, yeah.
video projectors? Yeah, they had a reel that somebody had gotten a hold of with clips from Star Wars.
Oh,
I hadn't even seen
wow.
the movie yet. They played this, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Well, there was a TV show, that Tom Bosley narrated, and it was about entertainment and about movies and a lot of backstories and sometimes some behind the scenes look. Star Wars was a subject almost every week. So I saw clips about how they did the flight scenes and how they did the modeling and all that kind of stuff. And I hadn't seen the movie yet, but I'm watching all this stuff. I know how they did the scenes.
uh huh,
So
oh yeah. Um, Sorry, I had something come up
that's
on the
back when
screen completely
that's
unrelated.
back when it's like you had to watch it the first time just to see everything, and then it was like 2 or 3 times before, "Oh, there's a story that goes along here."
Oh yeah. And the big running joke, well, how many times have you seen Star Wars? Well, it was a joke, but it wasn't a joke because
No.
there were people that went to the theater and watched it 20, 30 times easy.
I thought it was crazy that our neighbor had seen it 4 times.
Yeah.
And I was like, because my mom says, "Have you seen the movie?" Because she used to do puzzles, and this lady had 2 puzzles, one of R2-D2 and C-3PO, and another one of an X-wing, and and she'd mount them, did the puzzle glue and then mount them. So she had those on her wall, and my mom said, Have you seen the movie?" And she goes, "Oh, 4 times."
Uh-huh.
So it was like Rocky 3 was another one that everybody's seen so many times.
Oh yeah.
That was another movie that yeah, everybody's seen it so many. Oh gosh, that was overdone. And then you watch it now and go, why?
Hey, don't
It's
pick on
still there.
Mr. T.
I know. God, he was such a huge thing then.
Oh yeah.
He was that was funny. So,
Ugh. Um, yeah, we can go into this
we can go
all
all
day.
day because
Um,
there's so many movies that
the older you get, the more you look back on this stuff, and um, we live in an age of retro. We live in an
yeah.
age of what South Park calls member berries. Yeah, it was actually like it looked like a bunch of grapes, but they'd talk. You know, remember Star
Oh,
Wars?
remember
Remember
saying it.
Chewbacca? Yeah,
Oh
I remember
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah, that's kind of where we live.
yeah.
And I actually sat and watched a movie last night. Um, I I mostly tell the truth when I say that I don't like slasher movies.
Oh,
Not my
that's
type of
right.
horror movie.
Yeah.
Huge exception because I am a huge fan of Wes Craven.
Yeah.
Filmmaker, did a lot of horror movies, but here's the thing. Yeah, he did Scream movies. He did the Freddy movies, Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Here's the thing about him, and what I loved about him. Um, he had a psych degree. And basically, what his movies were was him figuring out what was in people's heads and twisting them throughout the movie.
Oh,
So
wow.
he was taking them on a ride that was designed to up that stress level
Yeah.
and the fear, and he did it so well. Well, they have released a new movie called Scream. Quit doing that, guys.
Yeah.
Quit doing that. Fast and the Furious, you started this.
Oh
Please
gosh.
apologize. Um, Number your movies and don't think you're being cute when you release a movie that's further along in and you give it the same name as the first one. Please don't. It's so damn confusing.
Mm.
It was bad enough. The only thing I didn't like about the Suicide Squad is that it was the same name as Suicide Squad, except they added the word the. um
Yeah, Fast and Furious did that one time where they just did Fast and Furious, not the Fast and the Furious. It was
yes.
Fast Furious, Fast
Uh-huh.
and Furious. I was like,
It got crazy.
oh man.
But no, I watched the new Scream movie and it was really good.
Oh wow.
Um, Wes Craven, who died several years back,
Mhm.
he would be very proud of this movie. It was so well done. Um, they brought in some interesting characters. Jack Quaid is in it. He's doing so much right now.
Hmm.
If you watch on Amazon Prime, The Boys, he's in that, and they're about to start season 3 or season 4, the new season anyway of that one. Uh, he's been a voice on Star Trek Lower Decks, the animated Star Trek show. He's done a bunch of movies, and he normally plays kind of a mousy guy,
Mm.
kind of the nerdy type.
Yeah.
Um, but he's branching out and doing more and more. And I saw him in this. I was like, this is going to be cool. I wonder what they're going to do with him. And I was not disappointed at all. Yeah, I'm being very careful how I word things when I talk about this movie. A bunch of new actors coming in and giving it a new twist, as well as so many characters from the original movie coming back. Nev Campbell came back as Sidney Prescott. There's a scene where, Officer Dewey, the reporter that Courtney Cox played, is in it as well. But yeah, there's a scene where Dewey is calling Nev Campbell and telling her, says, it's happening again. Says, you need to stay away. We've got another killer doing this stuff. And he asked her on the phone, says, do you have a gun? And she kind of turns to the camera. It's the first time you see her full face. And she says, I'm Sidney effing Prescott. Of course I have a gun. It's like, yeah. After you've been stabbed so many times, you kind of learn to arm yourself. But yeah, it was making fun, which all the Scream movies have done that. They've made fun of the genre that they're in, and did it in a very tongue-in-cheek way. But they put together this really good movie.
That's cool.
So it is on streaming video. If you have Paramount Plus, it's on there. Is it on Peacock? It's on another one of the streaming services. I don't remember which one.
Mm-hmm.
And free of charge to anybody who subscribes to it. So if you get a chance, check it out. It actually is really, really good.
That's good.
And it's the kind of horror movie that I like. It's more than just, here comes the big bad guy that's functionally immortal, and he's going to chop you up with an axe in ways that they're obviously trying to be imaginative and do it differently. And it just seems all the same to me. I think that's just me.
That's good.
Oh, hey, Blue Wind Trio. That's the name of them. Hey,
thank you guys.
Just got message. Hey, we got Timothy Gray is on. Tim says, hey, Randy and BJ. See, here's the problem. I'm not looking right at the screen, so I didn't see that. It gets delayed a little bit. He says, it's Tim from Blue Wind Trio. We played a gig at B17 Oyster Bar. Yeah, this is the guy that was at their first open mic that they came out to. They didn't know that anybody was even gonna like what they played, and this guy tapped them to come play over there. We played a gig at B17 Oyster Bar in El Paso a month ago. We now have a Facebook page.
There we go.
Here we go. I told them when you get this going. Blue Wind Band.
Blue Wind Band.
Blue Wind Band. Awesome. Cool. And you can see some audience videos of the show. That's awesome. Also says, hoping to come play some new songs we are working on at tomorrow open mic when it warms up a bit. Thanks for your enthusiasm about our music and giving us the interview on the program. Of course, man.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, when it gets warmer, we want to have you guys out here to actually play some, because we can do it outside. Yeah, anytime.
Oh, come on.
By the way, come out till tomorrow now.
Yeah.
It has been gorgeous and perfect the last 2 weeks. Now watch, it's going to be horrible.
The weather was great while I was putting together a shed. Storage shed.
Isn't that about the way it works?
Yeah, the weather was great for that. And now all of a sudden it's windy. That wind, I hate wind.
It's windy like Applebee's on a date night. Wait a minute, that's a different song. That's a totally different song. Blue Wind Band.
There we go.
I'm punching it into my thing right now. Yeah. Come on, guys. Let's see ya. I want to see what they've got going on here. Blue Wind Band. Page. Musician. Are you... Oh, wait. Nope. Tim, I think I'm going to have you send me a link. Let me make sure that it was. Yeah. Blue Wind Band. Yeah, I'm finding one Blue Wind Band. The page is in Spanish. I don't think that's you guys. Grupo de Blues con Timpar Propios. I don't think that's y'all. See all. That is the problem with stuff like this. Yeah. I wonder if I type in where we're at.
Yeah.
Yes, here we are. Just Blue Wind.
Oh.
Blue Wind. Band is underneath. I guess that's the category name for it. Here we go. Here they are.
Yeah, so look them up. Definitely catch them if you get a chance. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Um, awesome. How awesome is that?
That's cool.
And that's just me holding
Yeah.
my iPad speaker up to the deal. Well, we'll have to put a connection on there and play some of their stuff because they're awesome. By the way, while I was searching for this, Tim posted says try just Blue Wind. Yeah, we got you, man. And
Very cool.
I am hitting like, follow,
Yeah.
and setting you guys to the top of my list because oh yeah. No, I don't want highlights. I want all of your stuff. Awesome. Yeah, Blue Wind.
Yeah.
Went blank on their name, and I think they went through a little bit of a change still from the name, but still, yeah, they've been playing out there in El Paso for a bit now, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was talking to Danny, and yeah, they've been working on more music. They're adding more and more songs.
That's cool.
Uh, Tim says thanks again. Anytime, Tim.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Yeah, it was fun having you on, and I know we had a shortened interview because you guys had stuff you had to get to scheduling wise.
But hopefully
But
schedule something where they can actually play.
yeah, I can't wait for that. That's going to be a lot of fun, and we may be looking at doing some other stuff musically as the year
Yeah.
goes on when it gets warmer.
That's cool.
Because you've got you got a couple of musicians on this show now, so
Exactly.
how scary is that to say?
No, it's fun.
Okay, I'm
It's a
still
fun thing to say.
I'm still getting the shakes saying it. It doesn't come easy to me. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of why I went with the new boot music for my
I think
page name.
it's funny. I know how I kind of know how you feel because when I was performing in that show that I talked about,
Mhm.
they called me. I said, "Yeah," and I said something about me being a singer. No, BJ, you're an entertainer now.
Yeah.
And I went, "Well, I don't know about that because when I hear entertainer, I'm thinking of some big names like back in the day, Jerry Lewis, Sammy Davis Jr., people like that that were real." And then she said, "What do you think you're doing?"
Yeah.
And I was in this big production where I was doing many different things, but my voice was my vocal, but I still did a lot of dance, some acting, and some stuff like that. She goes, "You're an entertainer. You're not just a singer." And I was like, "Wow!" And that it took me a while to be able to say that. So I do know how you feel about that. And
Yeah.
then I embraced it, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, like I
So
said,
you'll get to that point.
I was binge watching the show Nashville, which
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
done. I've got through it all.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, it gets emotional towards the end. And the greatest thing, I'm not going to give anything away on the show by saying this, although it's been out for a few years, so I'm not that concerned about
Yeah.
spoilers. It ends up the last bit of the show. Some of the characters end up on stage at the Ryman Auditorium playing. See, the show was shot in Nashville.
Oh,
When they're at the Grand Ole Opry, they're at the Grand Ole Opry
wow.
because of the way they handled the whole music scene with a lot of respect and a lot of realism.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were completely embraced by the city.
that's cool.
And yeah, the very end of the song, you got the main characters that are singing this song, and then all of a sudden, these other characters come out. And these other characters, and this other character that's dead comes out on stage, and then the cast starts coming out,
And it's all just
and the
thinking
creator
about,
comes, and they're all singing this song
oh,
together.
that's cool.
And basically they got the whole stage filled. They've got the steps leading up. They've got a bunch of the cast
Yeah.
and crew that are sitting there on these steps singing, and it just becomes this whole thing. And it becomes very clear. It's a great show, is what I'm saying. If you ever want to check this out, it's so worth watching. It's 6 seasons, so you're not going to get into it, and it's going to end, and you're going to be pissed off. And they do finish it out nicely. But there was one part where these two characters were talking, and one of them was talking. Says no. He says you have to understand. Says You're a songwriter. You're a songwriter who performs. He says, I'm a performer.
Yeah.
That's all. There's a difference. And I've noticed these labels, and they tend to be a little more fuzzy than people might think, especially when a certain performer finishes a song and performs his own
Yeah.
original song.
One of these days.
One of these days. I'm going to be on you because, I'm going to be on you for two reasons. Number one, because I think it's not as bad as you think it is. I think it's probably closer to done than you realize.
Yeah.
It's really hard when you get close to something, and especially work on it as long as you have. It's sort of like a hot rodder. When is their car finished? When they sell it.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, I had a bunch of people that were pushing me hard, and several have been on this show. The most uncomfortable one being Daniel Zambrano.
Sanchez.
Daniel Sanchez. I know two Daniels and I mess up their names. Yeah, Daniel Sanchez. He actually came on the show, and at one point he was talking to me for a very long, uncomfortably long period of time. I'm like, dude, I'm like, I can play 3 chords right now, which really, never mind. Don't want to get into that.
Works for most.
Hey, I've gotten beyond 3 chords. I can play a few more.
Yeah.
And some chords that people know. One chord that's not really a chord, but it's a little bastardized, but it works for me.
Works.
But yeah, I got pushed by a bunch of people. I think that I should be able to return the favor. And we all know that it's done out of love when it's done to us.
Yeah.
Because this is a community out here.
It is, and it's great to be a part of.
Yeah. It really is. And now we're going to sing Kumbaya. Or we're going to go ahead and log off because we've hit 10 o'clock.
Yeah, and it's been a great day, and we will see you again next week.
Yeah. Get
out and hear some of the people out there.
Definitely.
What's going on, so go find it.
Yeah, and I know where I'll be. I will at least be listening to J.R. Sandoval this weekend, and maybe a little bit of Leon.
That's cool.
Leon's awesome too.
All right. Well, everybody, we'll see you soon.
All right. Take care. We'll see you next week.